Hello guys, welcome back to another video, and today I will be going through the grounds of the Southern Premier Central that I've been to. There'll be pictures at the end of the video, if you can just have a little look. So for a bit of backstory for this, I've been to 19 of the 22 grounds in the Southern League Premier Division Central across a couple of seasons now. I'm looking to do the last three this season coming. So I just thought, with nothing else to do, I would go through and rate them. So without further ado, we'll get off to the beginning. Before we do start though, I would like to say thank you for everyone who's subscribed recently. We need 35 subscribers to get 100, so we're getting closer. It would be nice to hit it before football goes back at our level. So yeah, I'm going to start. I will be rating Banbury as well, so I'm trying to be honest as I can. So, first ground, we're doing this in alphabetical order, and all ground names are off of the Southern League website. The first ground is AFC Rushden and Diamond and Needham Sports ground. I've been there twice now. I went 2 seasons ago now. Went with my mum. She took me to a Southern League game away. And then the last season just gone. Me and my grandparents went for an FA Trophy first round game. So I thought they have one stand that obviously is quite old now. It'd be a lot nicer if they did that stand up, but there isn't demand there. With the new seated stand behind the goal, it does make it a lot nicer, and there is plenty of cover. There's cover up behind both goals. They do good food. The stewards were pretty laid back when I went. The first time I went, they were a bit more just being a bit more stupid, weirdly. So we couldn't stand in an area, but we could stand 2 yards back, and that was fine. But yeah, all round there was only a couple of stewards who had an issue, so all round it's fine. And to be fair, even that time when we went there, they were just doing it when we were stood there. They didn't mind us going on there to celebrate when we scored. So then I would raise that. I'm gonna give them ratings how good I thought it was. That's a decent day out, I'd say. So the next ground in the league is Albert Church, which is Lye Meadow. There's a good amount of cover, although one end is open, which I can imagine is not very nice in the winter. Although we went on Easter Monday, it was the second to last game of the season, and it was really sunny. I think it was probably 20 degrees, if not more. So it was a really nice day out. We went on the train. Although there weren't much space at the open end, so teams with a larger following, so sort of your Bromsgroves or Stourbridge, probably struggle a bit at that end because it's not much space. But it's alright, not a place I'd really bother going. Not sure I'd go back to or not. But I'd say it's below average. The next one is Banbury United, Banbury Plant Hire Community Stadium. It's in a good location, obviously, as you know, it's right by the train station and in the centre of town, and there's plenty of cover. As you've seen, there's 3 covered stands. The stewards were alright, never had a problem with them, and the food was alright. It was pretty good, but I've had better food elsewhere. So all around, I'd say it's probably a decent ground for people to come and visit. I definitely recommend it. Obviously there's nice people there as well. I obviously would say that, wouldn't I? But anyway, next ground, Barwell and Kirkby Road Sports ground, which we went for New Year's Day. We lost 2-1. It was an absolute shambles. But they had no clubhouse in the ground. It was at the top of the access road. So if anyone's going there in the future, probably worth bearing in mind. They only had one stand with cover. If I can remember rightly, at one end there was a bowls ground, indoor bowls, and then there's a little space to stand, and the pitch was awful. I'd say it's a poor trip. We lost. We didn't play well. The pitch was awful. Not much cover. No bar. So yeah. Biggleswade next, and Langford Road, which is one of the 3 that I haven't been to, so I can't really say much about it, but from what I've seen of Biggleswade fans, they have some good fans when they come to Banbury away. When they come to Banbury, so that'll be good. Next one is Bromsgrove Sporting and the Victoria Ground. Now, obviously, I'm going to say this because it was arguably the best game I went to this season. They did nice food. It was good weather. It was a great stand. They had 3 covered stands in that famous terrace at one end with the Bromsgrove Sporting writing on the fence. And we won 2-0. We were going thinking a draw would be a good result. And so to win 2-2 was a very good day out. Lovely and sunny. So yeah, a great trip. It was a top day, I'd rate it. Next one is Coalville, and I think it's pronounced Mandir Cruikshank Solicitors Stadium. Obviously, this is all what the Southern League website said, so if it isn't, I apologise if any Coalville fans watch. They had a nice bar, there was a good amount of cover at one end. The only downside is you'd need a bus to get from one end to the pitch. You were that far away. We drew 1-1. It was decent limbs when we scored. So yeah, it's an average day out. It was pretty good. Next one, Hednesford Town in Keys Park, is arguably the ground I'm most looking forward to visiting. I haven't been to it yet. Again, hopefully get to go for this season coming. So yeah, I can't really say much. I haven't even seen Hednesford at home. It was one of the games that got cancelled. So I can't really talk about anything for Hednesford because I haven't actually seen them. So then we're going on to Hitchin and Topfield, which it's not great. So there was a small bar that probably fits about 20 people in. Stands are like garden fences. It's I think my garden fence is stronger and my garden fence is falling down looking at it. There was enough cover. I think there's 3 covered stands. However, at one end there's an open terrace which is very good. You get great views from the top of it. I can link, like I said at the start, any ground that I've been to with a vlog, I'll link in the description so you can go back and check it out. But yeah, the food was good as well, but all in all it would be below average. And then next ground, Kings Langley and the Orbital Fasteners Stadium. I think that's how it's pronounced again. It's the final one that I haven't been to. So can't really comment on it. Although they seemed friendly when they come to Banbury earlier in the season. But yeah, other than that, I can't really comment. And then Leiston, which is Victory Road. It's miles away. There weren't much cover, if I remember rightly, when I went. We drew 0-0. It was a pretty shambles of a day out. To be fair, I think they had a nice bar, if I remember quite rightly, and they were friendly people. So I'd probably say, I've put below average on there, but think about it, I'll probably give it average. Next up, Lowestoft Town and the Amberdew Events Stadium. So I'd say they were nice people. We were talking to a couple of Lowestoft fans. There was good food. There's enough cover at one end. It's fine. There's a big stand as well. And they had a good bar. So yeah, I'd say it's a decent day out, even though it is an absolute miles away. It's the furthest game we travelled to. So I mean, when we went this season, we left at 8 o'clock in the morning. Now, next one, I know a couple of people I support this club, Needham Market and Bloomfields. So I'm not going to be biased, but it was a lovely bar. It's a great setup, a good pitch, which is probably helped by the artificial pitch they have as well, for all the teams other than the first team to play on. I'd imagine other teams train on it, and maybe the first team train on it as well. Nice people. Like I said, I talked to some of them on Instagram. It's all around. It was a top day. We won 1-0 at their place, and they 4-2 at our place. I remember John Mills scored an 88th minute winner. Good limbs. It's a great day. Next one, Nuneaton Borough or Nuneaton Town. I don't even know at this point. It keeps changing. And Liberty Way. There's plenty of cover. The stewards were awful. I remember it was 2 weeks before I started vlogging, so there's no video on it, but I mean, our fans were having a fight with their stewards, but at the end, it all kicked off all afternoon. The stewards were poor, and it was the same steward. He swapped ends at half time just so he could be with our fans. It was quite like he was antagonising our fans. He was making comments about some of our fans as well. So the stewards were awful. And this comes hand in hand with the next one, which is it's too much of a big club attitude there. It's very expensive. I seem to remember, I think like a can of Coke for like £1.20, which might not seem expensive, but the majority, if not all of the other grounds are near enough, a can of Coke is £1. I think you have to pay an extra £2 to get a seat as well. So that's why when I went there I was on my own, because I was the only one who didn't want a seat and was happy to stand. So yeah, that was a poor trip despite the limbs when we scored. The next one, Peterborough Sports, which is B Arena. We went there for a night game, so be a little bit slack on them for what I'm about to say. Bearing in mind they were given probably 2 weeks notice before the game, but still. They had no food when I went there. Like, they were literally serving like burgers, which isn't very helpful if you don't like burgers. So like all I had was what I had on the coach, which was fine, and a packet of minstrels my grandma brought for me. Whereas normally I'd get some chips or something, as you know. Now when we went, they had a bar, but we've seen from other fans on Twitter they now don't even have a bar. So I don't know where you're meant to go if you go on like the coach with the players, where you're meant to go at full time, because as you probably see, when we go on the coach, we either go to the bar or if it's nice, we'll sit outside. No one was really that nice. Didn't really talk to anyone there. But I'd say it was a poor night. We got there at 7:30 as well. Our manager at the time, Mike Ford, was doing his team talk on the pitch. We were basically still warming up as the ref in Peterborough were in the tunnel. It was not very planned out at all. And my next one, which is Redditch and the Trico Stadium, which is again in a good location. It's right near the shopping centre in Redditch, if any of you know that. I can't remember what it's called. It was right next to the train station as well. Just don't follow Google Maps, because it'll try and take you to where there's no entrance, and then we had to walk through a bush. So it was lovely. They had a nice bar. It was a very good bar actually, and their fans were quite poor. We didn't really have any, like, they weren't making any noise. Bearing in mind it was opening day of the season, so we were the only ones making any noise. Again, Royston's next one and Garden Walk. There's not enough cover really. They have like a small seated stand at one end and another seated stand down one side, but other than that, not really any other cover. They're poor fans, obviously. I know it was just one, but I feel it's important to mention that there was a racism incident where one of our players was racially abused by one of their fans at Royston away. Ravi Shamsi, who's since moved on to Nuneaton along with Claudio Diaz. So I'd like to also just wish them good luck for next season, obviously for every game, other than when they're playing us. But good luck to those two, they were good players. And the bar was small, like at the end, that's why at Royston we sat outside and we were talking to the players when they come out of the changing rooms, because the bar was just too small. It was really hot and really like full. Next one is going to be Rushden Olympic and Dales Lane. There's enough cover. It's a good covered areas. They have a good bar, but because of the way they've levelled the pitch out when they had an artificial pitch installed for the start of the season just gone, at one end you're quite high up, which gives good views, but at the other end you're like below the pitch, so your eye line's almost like level with the bottom, like where the pitch. So yeah, so it was alright, but definitely better views out there. So I'll give it an average. St Ives and the Pro Edge Stadium, there's not enough cover. they did alright food, but it's not a ground that I'll be visiting again anytime soon. It was quite poor. Then Stourbridge, I've been there twice now. Obviously, this one there's a couple of interesting stories. So this one we want to spend a little bit of time on. This year when we drew 1-1 with them at the War Memorial Athletic Ground, they do good food. They have a good bar when they don't have an attendance of over 1,000 people, which we'll get to. And poor stewards. And the reason why I've said this, I've not actually had any issues with them. However, when we went, it was non-league day, so an international break. So going to Birmingham as well, but like Aston Villa, Birmingham, Wolves, and West Brom all weren't playing. So obviously their fans are coming down towards Stourbridge. So the attendance was something like 1,100, and we've got probably 100, maybe a little bit less there. So for starters, it's like half an hour before half an hour into the game even, and the bar's already full. So they've had to close that at half time. Then the bar closed at 5:30 because they had a function, so we just all left half an hour early because there's nothing else we can do. But obviously that's the same at Banbury. Sometimes our bar closes early for functions. But in the second half we had the police helicopter overhead. And when Banbury United scored, there was obviously limbs when we were absolutely loving life. But then it all got a bit nasty with some of the, well, not even Stourbridge fans. They were there because they wanted a fight, basically. But yeah, it's a good trip. It was a good atmosphere, very good atmosphere. Then next one, Stratford and the Arden Garages Stadium. Now this is a great day out when we win as well. There was absolute limbs when we scored. Last time when I went on Boxing Day, I think it was 2 years ago now. Obviously absolute limbs when we scored. As it's local derby, it's Derby Day. Good. They did. And there was enough cover. So obviously when we win, when we beat them 5-0 at our place, it's always going to be a top day out, beating your local rivals. Even if we score a couple of goals, it's absolutely limbs. Then for final of the 22 grounds, is Tamworth and the Lamb. There's good cover. I think they had a good bar, if I remember rightly. They did good food, but it was quite expensive. Similar with Nuneaton, they have a big club mentality because they've been in the league above, and they're charging like £2 a seat. You couldn't even walk in front of the seats to get to the other end, which weren't really sure if it was open. Some stewards said it weren't open, but then some people were on it at one end, and at the end of the day we did go and stand on it. But yeah, just weren't very well organised, and we got battered. We lost 4-0. It weren't a great day out. But yeah, I was going to go there again. Obviously, as you know, it's going to be probably a very good video. Going on the train from Milton Keynes up to there. But yeah, so can we try and get, let's say, 10 likes on this video? Again, we're still trying to reach 100 subscribers, so any support is greatly appreciated. Obviously, hopefully sooner rather than later, we can have football back. Leave a comment, let me know if there's any other videos you want to do. I'm thinking of maybe doing a Premier League predictions video tomorrow, having that out for you tomorrow, ready for the games tomorrow night. And hopefully give it a couple of weeks if all these protests that are happening, and all Bicester Village shopping and things were rammed yesterday. If the R number doesn't go up as they talk about in the government press conferences, who knows, maybe we could be back for football in a few weeks. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed the video. Drop a like if you have, comment any other ideas, videos you have, and I'll speak to you in the next one.
Walking alone, the streets are empty. The only thing I can see it's my own silhouette. I'm getting stronger, step by step. The clock is ticking, but there's no time for regrets. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe, trying to protect your soul.